Alrighty guys, so today we had a malfunction in our Softwash system. This is basically the Softwash. You got your pump, your reel and your hose, wired to a 12-volt deep cycle marine and RV battery, and then that is our proportioning system. I am a simple man. I think simple is better. But today I found out that this valve has gone bad. That pump creates pressure, which can in turn, when you're not on the trigger, push back this way. That's why these check valves are in place. See that arrow? It means the water can only flow one way. But when this goes bad, water can get through here. This tank holds our chemical, so when water gets in here, it dilutes it and we can't use it and work as efficiently. So what I need to do is replace this with this one, and you can tell if they're good. What you want to do is find the arrow, blow into it, so it can go through the way it's supposed to. That's good. But this is the ultimate test. Flip it around and blow into it this way. It's not letting anything through, which tells me this valve is still good. So I'm going to pop this off, put some tape around it, and then some blue gum as well, so that it creates a good seal. And this ought to be plumbed back up, ready to rip. It's a very simple system. I think simple is better. So that's the 12-volt setup we run on the little truck, and the most efficient and reliable Softwash in my humble opinion. Pretty cool. You just turn it on and off, and you're good to go. We run a ball valve on the end because the triggers go bad pretty quick. That's simple, it's cheap, easily replaceable. So that is the Softwash system. I'll go over this whole truck build in the next video. We'll get a metal wire brush. That's kind of the key to getting this stuff off, along with a fine toothpick. Clean it, retape it, and put the new one back on. So this one, I'm going against the arrow. It's failed. And what's happened is the spring has just been melted away by the chlorine. It's no longer there. Dude, we have ran that same proportioner setup for like 2 years now with the least amount of problems. I'm telling you, simple is sexy. Alright, so we got our pick and our metal brush. Guys, these things are cheat codes. How you come in, loosen it all. And this will allow you to clean that tape off. One clean swoop most of the time. That looks new. Now this too looks like it could be possibly fed a little bit deeper. It's a little looser than I'd like it to be. So we will probably put a new crimps on here and get that a little bit deeper. I did notice that leaking a little earlier too. So if you're gonna do this, just do it all once. Do it right. You'll save yourself a lot of time. Look at that tape, dude. That is freaking nice. So that's all cleaned off. Got our new valve in my pocket. And then our tape down here. Another tip and trick, oopsies, is holding the tape in this way so that you can always maintain tension against those threads. Now, this is really just a lubricant to get that poly on. And if you tighten these too much, you can crack this plastic. So big heads up there, that poly can be a little frail, especially when chlorine's been running through it for years on end. So be careful. Come in here. I'm sure people are going to be in the comments like, "Oh, you need to thread that tape on better." No, you don't. Shut up. Just put it on there. Seen some guys like wad it up too and run it through the threads, almost like a shoelace. I've never done that, nor do I care to spend that amount of time doing it. So now we're going to try and deal with this. Loosen that up, see if we can push it in a little more. If we can, then we'll tighten it. Otherwise, we might just replace this whole bit of hose. But we'll see. Yeah, that was barely in there. Look, it's cracked. That's why it was doing that. So we're going to replace this too. We're just gonna replace all of it, realistically. That's why it was leaking. Good to go through these before this happens. So now I gotta find this piece. Hose barb. All right. Welcome to the work area. I'm gonna throw some pavers down here in a weekend or two. But I keep all these fittings extras on hand for situations like this. 1 is none and 2 is 1. So need to find NPT to a male barb. There's your quick connects. It's a little bigger than I need. Are these threads the same? Interesting. We might have to run out for this one, y'all. Shoot. Interesting. Of course, that's what we need. But it's 90, so that won't work. I might be able to get away with one of these, realistically. I'll just heat it up. So, gotta find some hose, too. I know we got some of that laying around. Heat expands, guys. Heat expands. When your willy shrinks in the winter, this is the opposite. So, hopefully, that will do. Bro, I don't think we could get a better fit, realistically. That is freaking sweet. Holy moly, that's exactly what you want. Boo! Look at that! Look at that! Give me some! Yeah! Alright, so what I'm going to do is cut this to length, put some more hose clamps on here so I can pinch it in there. Leave this unclamped, that way I can twist it around, tighten everything, and then tighten this to finish out the system. So, as you can see, it's kind of choking. That means there's air in the lines. The reason air got in the lines is because we drained the chemical tank all the way. So to reprime your lines, what you got to do is close that valve. Leave that valve all the way open until it's pulling clean like that. Then go back, turn off that valve, and turn on that valve, and it will allow the chemical to start pulling. So right now I can see it's really clear. That's just water. Now I just got a little yellow. So what I can do, look, your fingers, when chlorine is pulling, is going to feel like there's some spunk on them. The guys will know what I'm talking about here. Anyways, we know chem is now pulling. It is primed, and this thing's ready to make some money. All right. Surface cleaner is in the side yard. So guys, we have finished the plumbing. We left an extra hose clamp just in case. We have primed the lines. This chem is all the way open. So now we're going to take it to a house, go test it out. We'll teach you how to soft wash on this job. Follow for our next video. So we got this line primed in the soft wash. It's getting up there. That's all we need right there. This is actually a perfect day to use the soft wash because it's nice and cool. If this was a hot day, we were spraying this high of a mix over a metal roof, that could really cause some damage. So you want to keep it wet. Luckily this one is painted. Not too worried about any of that. Oh, definitely gonna have to wash that off. But what's sick about this is it's just gonna eat all that green up, guys. Super simple. Just spray and bleach, really. Couple spots we missed. So you want to let all this sit for stucco, realistically 15 minutes, and it'll just eat through it. This is where it's gotten really bad. So This is also where a high flow system would come in handy. I mean, you'd use such less chemical, but it is what it is here. Look at the bulk of this washed, and we'll keep it wet with the downstream, which is still a chemical mix. But try and work in waves. Cover every inch so there's no drip marks. Trying to figure out where this is leaking from. Alright, so we got our soft wash applied. It's already cleaned this side. What I'm doing right now is just trying to keep it wet, especially the roof. We don't want that roof to be sitting under a high chemical mix. So we're just diluting everything. I'm going to come and water the plants before we spray this. As you can see, there's deep, deep green there. I'm excited for how that'll go. Alright, so we've showed you how to use a soft wash on a house. Let's go over how to maintain your pump so that you're not blowing through them. Anytime that you're done with your soft wash, even if you're just headed to lunch, you need to flush it. So what you do is you come to the chemicals proportioning side, turn off the chemical. That leaves the water wide open. What I'm gonna do is use this last bit of chem through the hose to do an application to the driveway. That way my technician can just come through, surface clean, and it's done. And since it's already wet, I can really just feather this stuff on. I mean, you don't have to hit every single square inch. You're gonna blow through gallons and gallons of sodium hypochlorite. So just a quick feather, and this driveway isn't bad. Like, realistically, you could just downstream this, but since I've got the chemical in the line, I'm just gonna do it. Get that taken care of. Like I said, just feathering, guys. And in the summertime, if you do this, you want to keep it wet. If it dries, it's not doing its job. So, just coming through, doing a quick application. Guys, this is 5 minutes of application during a soft wash. The whole front is already clean. You need to know what mix to use on what surfaces. So a stucco is super gritty, along with block or brick. Any masonry finish is gonna need a higher mix. Normally on a house wash, when it was that green, we could get away with the downstream, especially vinyl. But you run into things like coquina, for instance, or stucco, those really, really textured surfaces. You need to get a higher mix on there so that the house gets cleaned properly and the client's getting what they paid for. I see too many guys driving around, no insurance, no LLC, and no soft wash. And they're coming out, they're either putting pressure on your home, tearing surfaces, or they're just doing a bad job. If you're gonna pay for something, pay for the proper company to come in, do it once, or you're gonna have to cry and do it twice. So it's a tough industry, but we love what we do and we do it right. That being said, that's really it for the soft wash.